This is an extraordinarily long video compared to my usual content, but every single word in this report is extremely important. So please make sure that you interact. If you are a pro-Palestinian, make sure that you interact with this and make the world see it. This is about a very, very alarming and disturbing and shocking UN report that has been jointly prepared by 5 prominent international organizations, governmental organizations, in collaboration with 3 Israeli non-governmental organizations. The report is facing extreme pressure, particularly from the Western countries, to prevent the release. The key points from this imprisoned report are as follows. 1. 112 cases of rape involving female prisoners from Gaza have been documented within the Israeli detention camps/prisons. 3 of these cases involved versions, with one of the rapes being carried out by multiple perpetrators. One of the victims has been transferred under international supervision to a secret location and is currently pregnant. 2. 87 Gazan detainees, Palestinian detainees, were executed in the Israeli prisons by being shot in the head with pistols. Their bodies were then discarded in various locations on the streets of Gaza. 3. Torture in the prisons is described as barbaric and insane, with the atrocities surpassing those that occurred in Abu Ghraib and Guantanamo Bay by the American terrorist forces in Iraq, as well as in secret prisons. 4. Israel has deliberately targeted families and children belonging to Palestinian organizations in a sequence of planned attacks. The Israeli army approved a plan to exterminate the families of activists from the second day of the conflict, with a target list that includes 150,000 civilians. 5. Israel have excessively used mercenaries, contracting 22 military service companies. There is an American ship acting as a floating morgue with 1,227 bodies of mercenaries whose families have not yet been informed of their deaths. 6. The estimated value of the stolen gold and money by the Israeli army is approximately $370 million. 7. 70% of the bombs dropped on Gaza were treated with depleted uranium, leading to highly contaminated soil with uranium elements containing 60% of natural uranium radiation. This includes 3 isotopes: uranium-234, uranium-235, and uranium-238. Depleted uranium used in Gaza emits radiation similar to that of natural uranium, but in smaller amounts, with about 40% of the radiation emitted by natural uranium. Uranium-238 in particular, which makes up 99.8% of the depleted uranium, emits alpha particles and has alpha life of around 450 years. So it's going to remain in their soil and their air for centuries. The inhalation of uranium dust during explosions has planted cancer in their lungs of those who inhaled it. 8. 90% of women and children in Gaza are suffering from deep psychological trauma, with over 5,000 cases of full-blown insanity, mostly among women who lost their children, their husband, their whole family, recorded by medical centers in the area. 9. 213 Israeli pilots refused to carry out airstrikes on targets containing dozens of civilians, of people. One pilot testified before an Israeli organization that he refused to bomb a residential tower in Tell el-Hawa that housed 48 children, which was detected by thermal surveillance planes. However, another pilot executed the bombing 17 minutes later, killing everyone in the building, resulting in the death of 128 civilians at 1 second. 10. The purpose of establishing a temporary port is to facilitate the mass transportation of Palestinians and their easier migration to Europe. 3 European countries are already involved in a plan agreed upon to empty the Gaza Strip of its residents. 11. The Zionist War Council approved using starvation as a weapon in late November. 12. Israeli intelligence agencies made over 3 million phone calls to the Gaza residents, threatening them to bomb their homes and kill families if they did not provide field information about the fighters. 13. Two Arab countries offered significant financial incentives to South Africa to withdraw the lawsuit from the Supreme Court of Justice, and these are Emirates and Saudi. 14. The dropping of aid on Gaza by Western aircraft was carried out based on the advice of legal advisors to avoid the risk of being accused of participating in genocide, especially concerning weapons delivered without restrictive conditions for their use against civilians. Please share this on a wide scale and make sure that everyone knows.